If you need to share your parent conference schedule with your school secretary or your admin, this video will show you 2 ways you can do that. The first way is through Calendly. In Calendly on your home page, you will see event types and scheduled events. Click on Scheduled Events. Here you will see an entire list of all the conferences that have been scheduled. On the right-hand side, click Export. This will download a zip file. This zip file needs to be opened before you can add the CSV file to your Google Drive and open it as a Google Sheet. The easiest way to do that is to simply click on this zip file, and an unzipping program will automatically open. You will see this entitled Events Export. Click Extract. This will indicate where it's going to be saved on your PC. In this case, it's going to be saved to the downloads. Click OK. You can then close this window. You can now add this file to your Google Drive. I suggest you start by adding a folder. Once you've named the folder, click Create. Double-click on the folder to open it, and now you can add that file. The easiest way to add a file to your Google Drive is to click New, File Upload. Since we know that went to our downloads, we'll click Downloads, and there's that Event Export CSV. Click on it and click Open. The file will now upload to your Google Drive. This icon indicates that it is already a Google Sheet. Double-click on it to open. You will see all of the information for your parent conferences on this Google Sheet. There are a lot of extra columns that you can remove. If you want to remove some of those columns, you can click over several of them, then right-click and delete those columns. Again, right-click and delete. At the end, there are a lot of extra columns. Again, you can highlight them all, right-click, and delete the column. Here you can see the name is cut off. If you want to stretch that out, you can hover over the line in between the 2 columns and double-click to stretch it out. Again, once the mouse changes to that double-sided arrow, double-click to stretch it out. This will auto-resize each column so that everything fits. This is all completely editable, aside from deleting columns. You can change anything within each cell. Be sure you click up here to rename your file. We suggest you include your name so that your school secretary or admin knows which parent conference list belongs to which teacher. Simply naming it Parent Conferences won't be helpful for the people who receive it if your name is not in it. This Google Sheet is now ready to be shared. In the upper right-hand corner, click the Share button. Add the name of someone you would like to have access to this file. The default will allow this person to edit. If you only want them to view, simply change Editor to Viewer. And you can add a message. Once you click Send, so long as this is checked, it will send this person and any other people you add this file via an email. The benefit to using Google Sheets is if a parent contacts you and changes their time, you can change it in this sheet, and that will be reflected for anyone who has access to this Google Sheet. Your second option is to use your Google Calendar. In Google Calendar, scroll through till you get to your parent conferences. If you change from the month view to the schedule view, you will see any conferences that are scheduled in this specific week. You have 2 options here. One is to simply take a screenshot and share that image with the school secretary or your admin. However, you can print this as a PDF, add it to your Google Drive, and share it that way. Here's how to do that. In the Settings menu, click Print. Here you can adjust your print range. So we're going to go from November 2nd to, we'll have to scroll back, November 6th. The font size here is normal. You can adjust that. The orientation is portrait, which is fine. Currently, this print is going to print the end times and the attendees. You can uncheck those, and you'll see that some of the information on the right-hand side is changing. You can also choose to print the description. Keep in mind that this will add a lot of information here. So if you want to keep it as simple as possible with the parent's name and the time, I suggest you uncheck everything. Then click Print. If you have a printer set up, it will show up here, and you'll need to use the drop-down arrow to get Adobe PDF or even Save as PDF. Save to Google Drive is an option, however, that option will be removed come December. So we're just going to show Save as PDF. I only have 8 conferences, so this just takes up one piece of paper. So yours will have several pages, and you will be able to scroll through to see the other pages. Keep in mind, since no one's actually printing this and they'll be able to access it on their drive, paper use does not matter. And then click Save. Now this is going to download to your Downloads folder. Here you want to give it a new name. Again, be sure to include your name in the title and click Save. Now, in your parent conference folder, which remember you created on your drive, if you don't remember how to do that, it's just New Folder. But since I already have one created, I'm just going to locate it, Parent Conference. Again, I have the Google Sheet there. You would not have both. You're welcome to have both if you want. And we're going to add the file the same way. New, File, Upload. Now, since that was in my Downloads, Grandparent Conferences, and Open. And that will upload the parent conference PDF to my Google Drive. The first way that you can share this is once you've clicked on it, click on this people icon, and you can add people the same way we did with the Google Sheet. The second way is to right-click and click Share, and then add the people that you want to have access to this document. Again, be sure you change your settings to Viewer and click Send. The difference between these two items is as such. If you recall, a Google Sheet is a live document and can be edited. So if a parent contacts you and needs to change their time, you can update it automatically without having to re-download it from Calendly. And anyone who has access to your sheet will see those changes. For the PDF, it is not as editable. So therefore, if a parent does change their time, you will have to download a new one and then reshare that with your office staff, or simply contact them to let them know that the time has changed. Those are your two ways that you can share your parent conference schedule. 1, directly from Calendly, and 2, using your Google Calendar.